Hello, it is Mac here, and today I'm going to be talking about what Heist did right for GTA Online. So, I saw a post on VG247 a few days ago, and it was by Matt Martin, and he talked about how Heist transformed GTA Online for better or worse. Now, I did actually reference this in a previous video, where I talk about the more violence that GTA Online has because of it, and I talk about that in a separate video, so if you're going to go check that out, then there will be a link in the description. Also, if you want to check out this post, and there will be a link in the description. But I want to talk about what the Heist update did right for GTA Online, and some things that Rockstar could take from the Heist update into future DLCs and to improve the future DLCs. So I'm going to quote what he says on the articles. Now the dust has settled on a Pacific Standard job. Did Heist change GTA Online significantly? It's been almost 3 months since GTA Online received the Heist update, a collection of 5 multi-layered co-op missions that came with great risk and cost, but rewarded the players with massive paydays when successful. Heist reinvigorated GTA Online and drew a whole new crowd to the game. Not only did it drop some of the best missions in the entire franchise to date, it added new vehicles and weapons and brought with it a bunch of extras that got overlooked, such as daily objectives and adversary modes. All of that happened on day 1, and it took a few weeks for us to discover and make the most of the changes. But beyond those gameplay updates and cosmetic additions, Heist has been responsible for changing GTA Online in 3 meaningful ways, and then he's going to go on to talk about it. So I'm going to be talking about the 2 things that he did mention here. So he says, quote, "Since Heist launch, it's been remarkably easy to earn serious amounts of bread in just a couple of play sessions. I went from skint to $300,000 in the bank a day later, which only really amounted to about 4 hours of play. 3 heist setups, a heist finale with a first-time bonus, 2 lots of complete daily challenges, and a 30k survival put serious money in my pocket. We've gone from famine to feast, and it's difficult to digest. Before we were calling the game tight, but now we're stacking cheddar and we've little to spend it on." Rockstar has acknowledged this with the new Ill-Gotten Gains DLC, featuring new gear, weapons, and vehicles to spend your heist dollars on next week. And it's doing the right thing by staggering the DLC and releasing more goodies later in the summer. The truth is, the GTA Online community has an insatiable appetite for the new, whether that's gear, guns, missions, cars, clothes, or apartments, and they'll spend all of their cash and ask for more a day later. Rockstar will never have a happy crowd. My advice is always the same. If you've got the money, spend it. There's no point hoarding it. And then he says that Heist also brought more cooperative play. This is out of necessity. You can do a heist with strangers and take the gamble of getting a griefer or someone who just won't listen to a simple instruction, and put up with the regular dropouts and abandoned missions halfway through. But aside from the constant frustration this causes, you won't complete all the elite challenges unless you've got a trusted, coordinated team. And you ideally want to run the heist in order, from start to finish, to get maximum impact and money. If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. This is Rockstar's biggest achievement with Heist. It has clearly learned from the community. GTA Online players have long since created their own gangs with complicated initiations and rules, their own photography clubs, and they play together in smaller groups due to the fractured nature of the game. Forcing more organization in GTA Online has created new crews and friendships that have extended far beyond 4-man teams running through Heist. And then he goes on to talk about more violence and the Hydra and all that. And if you want to go check that out, there will be a link in the description to a previous video I talked about that. So he talks about how Heist has changed GTA Online for the better. And a few of his points I honestly think are something that Rockstar has done right with the GTA Online update. But a few things I'm not agreeing with on this. So he has talked about how Heist gave more money for the economy. And I think that's actually true. You can make a lot of money from Heist. Not only can you make a lot of money from the adversary modes, daily challenges, elite challenges from the Heist as well, but you're also going to get a lot of money from the Heist. I mean, it's not the most money. Don't think, you're going to get millions of dollars from it. Although if you do like the Pacific Standard, you can get a lot of money pretty easily. And he also talks about more cooperative play, and honestly, from my experience in GTA Online Heist, which I haven't done many with actual friends, most of my experience with Heist, or at least, early on, most of my experience was just playing with randoms, and it is pretty dreadful to play with randoms in Heist. Most of the time they'll either die in the weirdest ways, or they're just not good at the game. And that was my biggest problem with Heist, is if somebody leaves, you have to start all the way over. If somebody lags out, you're gonna have to restart the entire thing. You're gonna have to go to free mode, which will take lots of time, and it's kind of frustrating because of that. He also said how Heist dropped some of the best missions in the entire franchise to date, which I really disagree with. I think the Heist, well, some of the setups and some of the Heists were fun. I think like a few of the Series A jobs were very fun, like the one where you have to go into the yacht. I love that one. I think the convoy one was also kind of fun. Even key codes for the Humane Labs raid, and also the Insurgents one for the Humane Labs raid. But for the most part, I'm just not a big fan of some of the heists, and I think some of the heist setups were just not memorable. But for the most part, I think that the Heist update did a lot of things correct. And I think this article, says a lot of things about the Heist update. Sure, it is frustrating a lot of the times getting people into the session, but at the same time, it's very fun to do, and I think the heists are still something I love doing. I mean, I've been doing a lot of them recently to get some money for the next DLC. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Do you think that the Heist update changed GTA Online for the better, and in what ways do you think so? Because I feel like some of the things with the Heist update could kind of be improved on in the next, whenever they add new heists, which hopefully they do in the future. Who knows if they will or not, but I'm hoping that they do. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Hope you enjoy. Feedback is always appreciated. I'll see you guys in the next video.